In Investing 101 today, the shopping shift is having an impact on people who invest in malls and retailers. Here's a look with Fritz Goldman.
Sam McElroy with At Financial is joining us on our investing session today. And we're going to talk about retail and Reits and all sorts of things that are involving the retail space. Now, everybody's heard about the retail apocalypse. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think what we're experiencing is that there's a lot of pressure on how retailers are basically connecting with their audience. So we've seen this evolution over the last few decades where first everything was coming inside, but now as e-commerce has been developing and emerging, it's been putting a lot of pressure on those brick and mortar businesses. And as a result, it's been a question of how they continue to stay competitive in that market space.
So REITs are often looked at as sort of a hedge against the wild fluctuations of the space because it spreads out, of course, the investment across many properties and many different stores and such. So let's talk a little bit about REITs.
Yeah, you know, at the basic principle, a REIT is basically a stock that just owns real estate. And as investors, we can be looking for either capital appreciation off of the real estate that's in the REIT, or a lot of times we're looking for that cash flow off of the rents from the real estate that's in the REITs. And so it can be a good part in a portfolio in terms of how you want to utilize it, but there are a couple of things that people need to be cautious of when they're starting to get into that REIT space.
And some of these bigger players are like General Growth, Simon Properties, and so on. So talk maybe about some of the specifics that you're familiar with.
Yeah, so when you're thinking about a REIT, the first thing you want to know is that a REIT can trade either publicly or privately. And if you're talking about a publicly traded REIT, then they trade on an exchange with a ticker pretty much like a stock. And in those cases, one of the things you want to be really familiar with is just how much that price can really swing. If you look at any investment asset class, REITs actually can have a much higher standard deviation. And all that means is that the range of trading in terms of prices can really be a lot larger than that for, say, large caps or other things like that. So even while you're getting that good income, you got to watch out for those prices moving on you.
And of course, that REIT, that term is Real Estate Investment Trust, as some people are not familiar with the actual acronym there.
That's right.
But now, as far as the mix within a particular investor's portfolio, obviously there's many reasons why you would or would not, or heavy or light on certain things, but let's talk about why you would want to invest in REITs and where they sit in an overall model portfolio.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times where I see people start to utilize REITs inside of their portfolio is going to be as, you know, maybe a supplement to some of the other broader asset classes that they have. So if somebody's doing, let's say, more of a growth-oriented portfolio, they're going to have a good blend of maybe some large cap, mid cap, small cap, some foreign, domestic. But then to kind of get something that's outside of that normal space, they may include some real estate and REITs and stuff like that. I also see it a lot in sometimes an income portfolio. So a lot of REITs can be really good income generators via dividend payments and stuff like that. So you may see people that are trying to achieve a certain type of yield. Let's say they're looking for a 4 or 5 or 6% yield. You may see them start to incorporate some REITs from that standpoint to try to get that cash flow involved in their overall portfolio strategy also.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Sam. This has been very enlightening.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
For more Business First AM, check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.